Oh, beautiful people. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about the three strategies, the three most powerful strategies that I use to be a present man, a present gentleman in my life, in my marriage, and in my business. I use these strategies every single day to give me power, to give me clarity, and to allow me to be present when I'm with my kids, to be present when I'm with my wife, to be present when I'm in with my business, and be able to produce at a really high rate, at a really high capability, and to be able to perform at the highest level that I can perform and be the best version of myself every single day. So as men, one of the problems that we have as men trying to be gentlemen is that our mind is always wandering, right? So we try to be present with our families, we try to be present with our kids and in our business, but it's chaos. We have constant chaos in our minds, and it's hard to be at one place at a time. You might have experienced before that you're with your wife, but in reality, you're there physically, but you're somewhere else mentally and emotionally. You're with your kids playing, but you're worrying. You're constantly worrying about your business, and you're constantly worrying about what might happen or what might not happen. And I've seen this a lot, right? When I go out with my wife, with my family to restaurants, I always it's just crazy. Like the amount of men that I see at tables that are on their phones while their wives and their families are talking to them. It's just crazy, right? Um, it's just crazy to see how like most men are not able to be present. Most men are not able to be aware of the power that being present is, right? So really quick, I don't want to make this video too long. Three strategies to be present that have allowed me to be more present in my life, in my marriage, and in my business is number one. Strategy number one is get your shit done. Getting your shit done is the first strategy that I use to be able to be more present in my life, in my marriage, and in my business. Because if I get my shit done every single day in my business, once I go home, once I'm spending time with my kids and with my family, I don't have to be worrying about something that I didn't do, or I don't have to be. The only reason that you're not being able to be present with your wife, with your kids in your life, whenever you're talking to someone, is because you have something that worries you. You have something that you're thinking about that didn't get done, that is supposed to get done, that you are worried about, right? And the way that you can be present and not worry about things is by getting your shit done, right? By doing what you said you were going to be doing, by getting out there and making your goals, making your list, making whatever it is that you use to plan your day and plan your weeks and plan your months, and getting it done, right? So that it doesn't, so that it's not there in the back of your mind, pulling your energy and pulling your attention and making you be thinking about the past or about the future, and causing for you to not be present. So strategy number two to be a more present gentleman is to cash out. All right, this is a really strong one. This is a really powerful one. It's actually my favorite one. Cashing out. So cashing out, what do I mean by that? In the restaurant business, if you've ever worked as a waiter, or I don't know, maybe you have a restaurant or whatever, every single day in a restaurant, they cash out. So what they do is that the waiters and everyone brings all of the, the tickets, the receipts, the tips, the money, and it has to balance out to what's in the register, to what's in the system, right? And that's cashing out. Every single night, this has to be done without fail, right? Cashing out. So that's what you need to be doing every single day in your life, in your marriage, and in your business, in order to be a more present man and be a gentleman in your life, in your marriage, and in your business. You need to cash out. So how are you going to do this? What do I mean by cashing out? What I mean is very simple. So whenever you end your day cashing out. You end your day going through whatever you did that day and whatever you didn't do, right? So I have something, I don't remember what I call this worksheet, but it's part of the SHF system, part of what we teach men how to do, right? Which is cashing out. So we have like a dashboard that keeps you accountable every single week to the actions, to the behaviors that you say that you're going to do every single day, and you cash out. You basically go and reflect and think about the things that you did and the things that you didn't do. Think about why you did them, why you didn't do them, what worked, what didn't work, and you reflect, right? You reflect on what worked, what were some of the obstacles, what were some one of the blocks that kept you from achieving whatever you set yourself out to achieve that day, and then fix it, right? Think about how you're gonna fix it the next day, thinking about what you're gonna do right, what you're gonna do differently, and then just plan the next day. So that's cashing out. In the SHF system, we have a very specific way in which we do it, that we teach men, and yeah, you cash out every single day, right? You end up you end your work at 5, you end your work at 6, 7, whatever. You take 30 minutes, 50 minutes, cash out, right? Reflect, learn about your mistakes that day so that you don't do them over and over again. Plan your next day so that your next day you come in fresh, ready to tackle the day, you're ready to know what you're ready to perform because you know what you're going to be doing. And if you plan the day before, the next day it's going to be much more smooth and calm, and it's going to be more productive, right? And that way, when you go home with your wife and with your kids, you don't have to worry because you already reflected on everything that you did or did not do. You already reflected on what worked and didn't work. You already know what's going to change. You have massive clarity, and you already took the time to plan the next day, which gives you the peace and the calm to be able to enjoy the present moment with your wife or with your kids without having to think about what you did during the day and what you're going to do tomorrow. So cashing out, that is a very powerful strategy, very simple. This is what we teach. One of the things that we teach men how to do here at Success, Happiness, and Fulfillment. And it's one of my favorites. It's actually my favorite one, cashing out. I do it every single day. It's like my morning ritual, right? My morning ritual is sacred to me, but cashing out is my evening ritual, which is also sacred to me. So strategy number 3 to be able to become a more present gentleman and get your shit done and be more present is be accountable. All right. Be accountable. This one is really simple. Being accountable. You always hear this, right? You got to be accountable to yourself. You got to be accountable to other people. And in this case, in this case, you got to be accountable. And one of the strategy that I use here to be accountable is being accountable to your wife. Teaching your wife what it looks like to not be present. Teaching your wife what it looks like to when you're not present, when you're thinking about the past or when you're worrying about the future. Letting her know that you want to be more present, right? And making her be on the same boat with you, making her help you, right? To be more present. And so a lot of the time, so when like I told you right now, I go out to a restaurant and I see a bunch of men on their phones while their family is talking to them and they're like nodding their head and saying, yeah. But in reality, they're not listening because they're multitasking, but there's no such thing as multitasking. And the reason that this is happening and the woman, the wife, allows for this to happen is because she's not aware of what it is to not be present. She's not aware of what it is to be present. She doesn't know any better. She thinks that being on your phone while you're talking to them is normal, right? But that is not normal. That is completely not normal, right? So if she was aware of what it costs when she's talking to her man and her man is on the phone, she wouldn't allow it, right? If she knew that he is not listening, she wouldn't allow it. So by teaching and by training your wife to and let her know what it is to be present, that you want to be present, and for her to help you and for her to keep you accountable, that's completely going to change your life. It's completely going to help you be more present. So for example, for me, my wife knows when my wife knows what it is to be present. My wife knows everything that I do in order for me to be present and to increase my focus and my ability to be present. She knows when I'm not present. And whenever I'm with them, spending time with my family or with my kids, and I'm there with them, right, trying to enjoy the moment, she knows as soon as I am drifting off into somewhere else, into thinking about the future, into thinking about the past, then she's like, hey, come back. You're here with us, right? And then I might do it again, and it's like, hey, come back. You're here with us. So that trains me, right? That has allowed me to train myself, being accountable to her, she keeping me accountable to myself, has allowed me to train myself to be able to be more present, which has impacted me greatly in my life, in my marriage, and in my business, because that training that I have every single day when my wife is like, hey, are you here with us or no? Right? It trains me, and it transfers to the other areas of my life whenever I'm working out, whenever I'm working on one task. And that is incredibly amazing as well. That is incredibly useful to keep yourself accountable to your wife, especially your wife, to teach her what it is to be present. And as soon as you drift off into the future, as soon as you drift off into your worries about the past, make her notice that, make her realize and recognize that you're not being present, and make her bring you back. So that's it. All right. Those are the three strategies I use to be a present gentleman as a father, husband, and entrepreneur. And just again, to wrap this up, number 3, the third strategy that I talked about was being accountable, making your wife make you accountable. That's going to be extremely powerful because, well, she wants you to be present. She wants you to be there. And if you teach her what it is to be present, if you let her know that you need her help, she's going to be all in. Number 2 is cashing out. Cashing out, just like your morning routine, setting a evening routine. And there's a lot of things that can go wrong during the day. Things can go south and west and north during the day. But 2 things that you do have control of every single day is your morning and your evening routine. My morning routine for me is sacred, but my evening routine for me is even more sacred, because cashing out has allowed me to be a present gentleman. And the last strategy, number 1, is get your shit done, man. Right? If you get your shit done, you're not going to have to worry about the past, and you're not going to have to worry about the future, right? And if you have a step-by-step plan, if you're clear on where you are, you're clear on where you want to go, and the action steps that you need to be taking every single day to take you there, and you get your shit done, there's no reason to struggle. There's no reason to worry. There's no reason to be somewhere else when you're somewhere else, right? Be somewhere else when you're in some place. So that's it. I hope you like that. And I'll see you soon, my friends, my brother, gentlemen. Bye-bye.